the time. Line of sight on heals. This was the one. Okay. Here's Blobafat making a post. He says, line of sight on heals. It's absolutely necessary now. FENGRUSH talked about it before. There's 12-man group in the tower. 2 of these are healers. These 2 players can, this happens all the time, sit on the very top of the tower, mash Breath of Life, healing wards through levels of the tower. Okay. So I've talked about this. It's true. Here's the thing. Like, I actually do... Like, I wouldn't want to fuck healers' line of sight entirely. I'll give you examples. When you're out in the open field, that's what healers... Like, healers do need to do that to an extent. Like, they run behind trees. They use their terrain. They go down a cliff. They go around rocks. They go in a barn. Whatever. Otherwise, they're just... You might as well take all terrain out, and there's real no strategy. I don't like that. What I don't like is that when you're inside keeps... People are just getting healed in a general area. And they're being... This really compounds on top of the fact that healing is just so strong. It's so strong. And that's my gripe with it. I was going to post on here... I was going to post this video I made. So let me hop on here. I didn't want to post on the forums because it would just open up a can of worms, but... here it is. Let's look at this fight, okay? Now, hang on a sec. Let me bring it down a little bit for you. Okay. So in this fight, I cut this just because people are like, oh, there's no Templars left in PvP. They're such a shit class. I don't agree with that. Okay, Templars are not a shit class. They're not dead. They're not gone. Okay, do they have problems? Yes. A lot of classes have problems. Welcome to Stamsurp. We got problems too. Okay? A lot of people have fucking problems out there. So, but here's the thing with Templars. Like, they're very mad. They're like, I've just been reduced to a healing bot. That's all I do. I just run around and I pop heals all day. Okay. So let's work to getting you some more like utility and defense on your skills and fixing things that are broken, like Blazing Shield and stuff. So many things they fucked up there that like I'm on board with that. I'm with you on that. But here's where things are fucked up. Here's Cassandra in this clip. This is a group. They came in here. Okay, a lot of healers, a lot of Templars. It's tough to see at first, but for what's relevant, you're gonna be able to see it here. Cassandra gets isolated from her group. Okay, look, they're all going downstairs right now, right? They're proc steading. They're all moving upstairs, except we catch a healer here. Look at this. Here's Cassandra. We catch her. Help me kill Cassandra. She's under the steps, first floor. Just pounding her. Look at the healing she just took. Look at that. Okay. Her group's upstairs right now. If she dies, they're going to lose a lot. See her health bar here? 77%. 98. 63, 93, 64, 44. 6%, 45%, 20%, 100%. While knocked down. There's 4 DPS on her with Wrecking Blows right now. Watch this. Yo, buff Templars right now. Look at this shit. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. What the fuck is this? She's laying on the ground for that long. 4 people. 4 pure DPS. Yo, 4 pure DPS on her. She gets knocked up. She even gets the CC bug, which shouldn't be in the game. She gets knocked up twice. But look at her health. No blocking. No rolling. No self-healing. Nothing. Just sitting there being a punching bag to 4 pure DPS. And this isn't even a full raid. This is like a group of 12 people with Templar healers. And then what happens? They'll come down here and res. I call it. I bash the guy. I sit here, I try to bash, but they can just come down here and fucking force a res. There's no amount of damage I can throw out to kill the rest of them. Because here's the thing. If it took 4 pure DPS to kill a healer, if it took that much, our AoE means nothing. How can we focus down the healers in this group? We can't. Okay? Like, we can't do it. And this is, and you know what people will say on the forums? They'll go, oh, well, you know, yeah, you shouldn't win. Since when? Since when did this mindset get created in this fucking game that if you're outnumbered, you shouldn't win? It was never like that. Yes, the patches have slowly pushed it that way, and they just dumb it down more and more and more, and they give numbers an advantage. But now the community's on board. You're all good with that? You accept it? Hey, my class is fucked up, so don't fix problems that exist in the game. Because that's a problem, like what happened there. When you isolate somebody like that, they should be fucking done. And this is the problem. Like, watch the rest of the fight now. They come down, they res her. I can't stop them. I'm bashing them. It doesn't matter. Because you can res in a fraction of a second, and there's no penalty after you res. Okay? And watch them go up here. Fucking joke how healing operates. I'm sorry. This is so stupid. Like, I might as well not be here right now. I might as well not be throwing out AoEs.
Shouldn't be able to go this long with this much healing.
It doesn't matter. Is there enough people doing it at once? It's all numbers. It's fucking numbers based. Now here's a healer. He's on the back. He's healing and he's meat bagging in between. I knock him up. 50%, 100%.
Why am I even hitting you? Is there a reason that I'm hitting you?
There's no point.
I don't think there is, because you just get fucking perma-healed no matter what kind of fucking damage I rip out on you, unless I instantly kill you.
Like, this is where it becomes, it's just a numbers game. There is no option for me here. Like, there is no counter. There's no, hey, do this, and you'll win the fight. I need an option. I need something to do in this fight.
I can't get through this.
But I don't have anything. They're getting pounded with siege. They have single target DPS focusing healers. They have ults going off. It doesn't matter. Like, there's just too much healing. And the thing is, you can do it for too long. And this is the problem that the CP system created with the healers. You get amped output healing, amped received healing, more regeneration, lower cost, and you just expect to become these healing powerhouses with Breath of Life. Again, I am not advocating and saying, hey guys, we gotta nerf Breath of Life, because that's not the issue. Breath of Life and healing is not the only thing. There's endless stam builds that just can roll forever. Look at Nightblades, man. I can't fucking do shit to them. They'll just roll, vigor, hide, open, roll, vigor, hide. And they can do this forever and ever because all the resources are jumped. My resources are jumped too. Everybody's is. Like, that's how you have to play. There's no choices you have to make. You just keep fucking rolling and doing your thing and just running your build until numbers come in your favor, or you catch people who are that incompetent. But there's no, like, hey, you made a big play. There's less and less of that. Every patch we're getting less and less of that. And that's the problem. That's my complaint with a lot of this. So let me read. How come being outnumbered shouldn't matter when it's you outnumbered, but when you outnumber her, it's a 4v1, she should be dead, no chance. Because there's 4 people pounding her on the ground while she's not CC breaking, because she already used all of her stamina. That's why. If it was a 4v1 and she was doing something to, say, avoid 4 people wrecking blowing her while she's laying on the ground, then sure, do it. Like, if I can fight 4 people and I can maneuver around, that's great. It's not the point. Like, it's not that she shouldn't be able to win her fight. Like, she lost her fight. She's on the ground. She's out of resources. She's spent. But she's still being kept in the fight with heals. Because you can heal so quick. Okay? And this applies in this whole meta. They nerfed damage down. They nerfed healing down. Okay? These were very lazy ratios they put in my opinion. They're shitty ratios. In 1.6, I could kill people way too quick. I could crit rush, light attack, execute, and that would kill some people. I didn't even have to wrecking blow some people. That's way too quick, okay? So I'm happy they amped the damage so people aren't getting killed quicker. But the thing is, they shouldn't be getting healed for astronomical amounts, okay? That needs to... It needs to be brought down, but I'm not saying just nerf healing across the board, because it's probably not a good solution. And this scales into big group play, where big group plays healing is going to suffer a lot by that. It's really the core of the problem is resource management is insane. Because a skill like Breath of Life should not be spammed as long as it is. they should have to go through the other options of healing on their bar and be like, oh, this person really needs a heal, and I used Breath of Life, okay, and I made a big play. And then some people in the forums, you know, they throw out stuff like, I didn't even realize my camera's not up. People in the forums, they throw out stuff like, you know, well, give Breath of Life the same treatment as Streak. No, don't. It's a terrible idea. Like, you're gonna bury healers then, and you're gonna make people hate their healers. Their healers gonna be like, sorry, I didn't heal you. I'm on my penalty cooldown. Just had to let you die. Like, there needs to be solutions, in my opinion. I don't like this point of gameplay. Like, it's terrible. In 1.6, again, you could kill people if they didn't exercise skilled play, and you could catch them and they were on the ground, you could kill them. Now, sure, it was too quick, and we should get away from that. But, like, healing should not outdo somebody who is not competent enough to either break CC quick enough. If you have multiple healers, okay, I get it. Multiple healers can punch through a lot of damage. But 4 people, 4 pure DPS, pounding someone with everything they got, like 4 players that know what they're doing. That wasn't just like pugs hammering on someone. That was 4 like upper end players beating the shit out of people. Okay? There's something wrong there. Now, I kind of made this at first just to give Blobafat like an example of, hey, here's a guy getting healed through the walls. Inside keeps, I would like to see line of sight healing. Inside towers, inside these things, when you're running through a keep and people just pop rapids and they're running up the steps, down the steps, they're on the flag, you're upstairs, and everyone's just Breath of Life, and you're hitting people, you don't even know they exist. They're up there fighting on the steps, cool, you're Breath of Life in them. Someone just got ganked behind you, they got Breath of Life, so don't worry about it. You could be reading a fucking book while you're doing this, it doesn't matter, because for the next minute you can pound that shit while you're on the flag. It's such lazy healing. You need to add an element of skill and strategy to the gameplay. That's just not there, the way I see it. And it used to be. You didn't used to be able to heal like this. You didn't used to be able to roll and go on offense in the same way either. Like, there was choices to what you did. And resource management is just so fucked. It's probably the biggest problem to everything. And that's why I'm not saying just go and nerf Templars. So all these Templars that just come at me on the forums like, hey guys, you see the 1vxer just wants to nerf us so he can be fucking Superman and just swing his big dick around and fucking slam kids in the pavement all day? No, that's not it. Like, you guys are just a bunch of fucking dicks, or you're misunderstood, or you never took the time to even come on here and hear things out. You never watched the podcast. You didn't do any of that shit. And some of you people start your posts out like that. You're like, hi, I'm just Joe Blow, I'm a healer, by the way. Never watched FENGRUSH before, but here's what I heard about him. And then they just go off about me, like, oh yeah, just go ahead, fucking run with my opinion from some asshole you heard from on TeamSpeak. Like, that's cool. You know, so yeah, I'm sick of the people blowing shit up. I know they will, and they always will, and that's part of being a streamer and having an opinion. I get that. But here's my response to you guys, you know. Stop being fucking dummies and take some time to understand shit. And if you disagree with it, let me know, you know. And let's hear some ideas. Because I don't hear a lot of ideas. I just hear people saying, don't fucking nerf me. You'll ruin my class. I'm on here like, so I threw out the one idea. Maybe people shouldn't get as much healing when they're on the ground. Not just disabled, but on the ground specifically. Maybe it's not a good idea. That's fine, you know. It's not like it's something I worked on for a while. I just threw something out there, you know, because I don't want to nerf classes. I don't want to see classes get nerfed, you know. That's not my goal here, to come here and do that. So yeah, this is life on the forums here, you know. A lot of people are, I didn't even get to read what's going on. Some of this stuff's tough to even, like, you read it and I don't even really bother replying. Some guys on here are fucking ridiculous, man. Some of them just hate you for the sake of it. Here's Joy Division. He doesn't like my opinions on anything in this thread. Fair enough. Here you go. Here's one of these guys that likes to insult me. You know, they're all over. For the most part, I like YouTubers. I've been one myself in the past. However, a big YouTuber like you Okay, I'm not a big YouTuber, like, at all. I stream on Twitch. My YouTube's pretty fucking light, actually. I just throw out videos. Very light YouTube, but okay. You cry for change so you can look like a guy in your videos. You cry for nerfs so everyone can appear to be the highest skilled player. Not surprised you're first to cry on something. Here you go. Learn to adapt. Learn to care about the learn to care about the game. You're gonna come tell me to learn to care about the game. Go tell it to Zenimax, man. Like, here's at least a voice of reason. Majority of the time, Sheens with FENGRUSH, pocket healer. It's right. I fucking built a healing templar from ground up. I understand the build. I understand the issues. I understand what it's capable of too. Sheen Hale can pull out fucking over 6,000 magic recovery. You know what you can do? You know how many breath of life you can fire off for how long? When you have 6,000 recovery and your armor is like just under 30,000 and your health is about 30,000 too. You could just fucking walk around waving your little arm breath of life motion for fucking ever. Okay, that's what I travel with in my groups. That's what I'm talking about. Needs to be looked at. It's fucking out of control, man. Some people agree, you know. Some people don't. I don't know. This is I'll probably throw this up in here, but I didn't want to get in here and get into a pissing match talking about things. But you know, this deserves a discussion more than me just going on and talking about it. All right, you won't solve anything with me just expressing myself on it. You actually need to get people together like healers and just have like a discussion. Most of them are really fucking angry. And most healers I've talked to, like, they're like, I don't want to hear none of it. Fuck your ideas. You know, and I get it, you know, like, if people came at me like, Stamsurg really needs to be nerfed, FENGRUSH, you beat me down, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. I would be more prone to laughing, but I get they're worried that they're going to get nerfed. That makes sense. But, there you go. This guy says, you want us to watch and listen, not gonna pay. This guy says I get fucking, I make my living off of here, apparently. Okay, yeah. I don't work 40 hours a week before I stream. No, you're right. I come on here and I'm banking it hard on YouTube with my like 2,000 subscribers that watch my videos. FENGRUSH, who has 6k recovery? I get that on Tuggle's build. That's a Magicka Templar healer I built. Sick nasty. FENGRUSH, for most healers, 2k to 2.5 is considered high. Well, you get a V16 Lich set, and you'll start to see the big plays. Now you'll say, well, that's just an extreme example, FENGRUSH. You can't use that. I can't? Why not? If everyone built a character the way I build it and they played to my level, then sure you could. You know? Why not? And that's not even taking that into consideration. Say a lot of the people in that last group in that video, they don't have that set. They don't have that going on. I realize that. Maybe none of them have Lich set, but they don't even need it. They just need strong heals. Like, you don't need 6k regen, but it's you can get like 2 to 4k. Not very hard to do. It really isn't. And the thing is, you don't need really high power to have your breath of life hit hard. That's the thing, okay? It's like if you push really high recovery for a lot of healing non-stop, then you shouldn't be able to bring people from the fucking grave back to full health. But you can. That's, you know, that's our passives. Yeah, I know. That's part of the problem with how everything is. It's not the only thing. I mean, it's the same problem, you know, I have with Magicka Sorks. Magicka Sorks, their shield stacking, it's a little too much, alright? It's not skill-based as far as I'm concerned either. It needs adjustments. They didn't adjust shields. And they'll say, FENGRUSH, you can't nerf Magicka Sork shields, we'll have nothing. You're right. You know why? Because they fucked up armor when they switched everything over to light, medium, heavy, and they changed the mitigations to be the same. They fucked it up. And as a result, Your whole class is built on one thing. It hinges on it. So if it gets nerfed incorrectly, it'll fuck your class over. And despite that, it's still too strong and it requires adjustments. And people are unwilling to even fucking discuss it if that's their class. Okay? That's not acceptable. People have to be more open to that and realize some things are not fucking right. Some things are a little broken. If everyone played my level, what I'm saying is, if they put in the money and they did that, if you had 4 people built like Tuggles in a group, it'd be, you could literally just Breath of Life forever. Like, you could just run in Breath of Life. I mean, they practically already can. You can do it without that setup just fine, and say you have 6 healers. It's even better than that. It's even better than what he has. But if you want to run low numbers like that, that's my point. Like, you don't need a Superman build to do it. Pretty much every healer now, once they're leveled up, they have somewhere between 200 to 300 CP. It's very easy to do in a couple weeks. You just, hey, they go somewhere. What do I get? Get a Kagranax set and get this or that. They're good to go. They're running around, and they're doing a terrific job, okay? That skill gap doesn't really exist like it used to. Because before it was a matter of making decisions. Now it isn't. It's so much less about decision making. It's about how many numbers did you bring to the fight. So when people come and they say shit like, yeah, you shouldn't lose, you were outnumbered, it's just, for me, it's the most disheartening response I can hear on these forums. It's like people have given up. They accepted it. They said, you know what? Fuck it. It's just about numbers. And then you wonder why Azores is the way it is. Because that's how the game's built now. It's all about numbers. When you have full raid groups complaining about numbers, this game's hit a new level, okay? Because there's multiple raid groups stacked on top of each other. They're fucking up the server, they're fucking up gameplay, and none of it appears to be very skillful at all. You know? There's great players in those groups, but they're just forced to do very simple things. You know? What the fuck is the Lich set? Lich set's a, it's set to, you know, when it procs, it gives you over 1,000 mana regen. Then you throw in champion points and all that stuff on top of it, and vampire and other bonuses, and suddenly you have a lot of regen on your bar. It's more you could say it's more than you need, but that's what is happening in big groups. It's called it's overhealing, okay? Even in 1.6, like Decibel was a very good guild. They they weren't a full raid, they were smaller. I'd say Decibel's biggest strength, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from my outside view and fighting the different groups I would chase down. Decibel being one of the hardest ones for me to ever pick people from, because Decibel was like the most defensively focused one. Like they good players, good builds, smart play. And what they did is they just capitalized like on the ability to be very defensive. So when most groups are built offensively and they come in and they just burst you and they hit you with a heavy punch, Decibel seemed to me at least to be a guild more so structured that they could take that punch. They'd either evade it, they'd heal through it, they'd survive through it, and then they'd punch you back and hit you while you were down. Because a lot of guilds aren't built well past the first punch. They just come in and they hit you, and then they go, alright, we gotta pull back or do this or do that, or some of them don't pull back well, or some of them aren't countered. They know what to do. Like, so different groups are built and styled differently. But as soon as I heard what was happening in this patch, that they were going to drop damage and drop healing, I'm like, okay, that's going to be a buff to healing. Because if you can't burst through people, they're just going to get healed back to full. That's the reality of it. Sure, it may take slower, but before there wasn't that window. Now there is that window to keep people alive. And now you can run lighter sets of armor and not worry about being instantly one-shot by people. You can run those sets to stay alive out there and do stuff. This is it's resource management out of control. Poor ratios, adjusted. They're very lazy fixes. Like, where do they pick these numbers? Where do they pick 50%? Where do they pick 6 for AoE caps? Like, you don't know where they pick these things, and they're not willing to discuss and say, we're happy where it's at, or we're not happy, or willing to adjust. Like, they even say, hey, we're willing to adjust. We're willing to work with AoE caps. Are you? Cool. Fucking talk to us about it. And then they even make a forum thread on here, and they don't talk to us about it. They don't tell us why it's 6. They don't tell us why there's AoE caps. They don't tell us if they plan on moving them, and if so, by how much, or why they wouldn't. We have no idea why they're doing anything that they're doing. All we know is that the game's fucking up, and that it's basically gone down in value in the PvP department. It gets shittier and shittier. And yet you don't want to explain yourself, you don't want to work with people, you don't want to try to make a better solution. It doesn't exist. So there's so many people dipping out on Cyrodiil. My friends have dipped. I'm sure all of you have friends that have dipped. Leave Deci alone. I didn't say anything negative about Decibel. I liked Decibel and I respected them. I'm just giving you an example that comes to mind. If Deci was still around, you'd be very strong in this meta, actually, compared to how you were functioning in the last one. FENGRUSH Stealthy has a video on Nightblade with 3.5k regen, 3k weapon edge. Yeah, Nightblade's stats are kind of, they're just silly. That's why Nightblades are very strong. Most people won't disagree that there's a problem with Nightblades and they need to be adjusted. But there's a lot of people disagreeing on even talking about Templar. And they use bad reasoning. Like, this is broken and this is broken and this is broken. You're right, there's a lot of skills that you have broken. And I agree, they need to be fixed. There's a lot of classes that have skills broken, though. There's a lot of mechanics in the game that are broken that screw you over more in some regards than it may somebody else. I get those things. It sucks, man. It's hard to bounce a game when things don't work as they should. Yes. How can I disagree with that? There's no disagreement from me on a lot of that stuff. So I wanted to have a discussion, but I don't know what healers to actually bring on and talk to. Maybe it's something I can do another time. Because that's what it deserves. This doesn't deserve just me going off and saying how it should be. I'm not going to fix this game by myself on a lot of things. There's only a couple things I feel really certain about. AoE caps, one of them. Okay, I can speak with a lot of confidence on that one. I always have. Just because it doesn't make sense. There's no risk to bringing people together. So what's the thought process behind that? You can't have a mechanic that makes you exponentially stronger without adding any level of risk. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid. But there's lots of problems. Specifically in bounce, I won't solve a lot of those. They deserve discussion. But a lot of times I'm not that interested in talking about them because ZeniMax isn't interested in listening about it. They'll tell you they're listening, but they're not. They're not listening very much at all. So it's hard to make progress there or want to care about it. So what do I generally do? I just complain about it. It may not be the most constructive thing, but it is what it is. So there's the forums for you. Maybe we didn't really get to look at stuff. I was going to look at things on here, but I really didn't. But this was just kind of an ad hoc thing I threw together here. FENGRUSH, you think if arenas came out, most of these problems would go away? No, they wouldn't. If arenas came out today, let me tell you, my class wouldn't have a place in there. My Stamsork, nah, he wouldn't be good in there. Nightblades would be good in there. Templars would be good in there. Stam DKs would be good in there. Magicka DKs wouldn't. Magicka Sorks would be. Like, the game is not well balanced. That's why we don't have arenas. They've never focused on bounce very much. Because if they do put in arenas, it's going to expose their balance. Okay? That's not why they're not in right now. They actually have to get it approved, develop it, and make it. But it's probably why you've never seen bounce as a high priority for them. Because it really isn't. It's just that and PvP. PvP and bounce, they go hand in hand. And they're just so low on their totem pole. They pretty much come and just tell you what you want to hear. Tell you we're working on things. Oh, did enough people bitch about this? Alright, we'll cut it in half. Or we'll double it. They're the kind of changes they come and they make. Instead of just saying, okay, we'll adjust this by 20% and we'll change that by 5. And we'll fill it out. And in a month, we'll see where it's at. Maybe we'll adjust it by another 5. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's where it should be. Instead they wait 5 months until pretty much everybody in the game has re-rolled that class. And they just remake everything. And they just break shit along the way. Now we deal with new problems in the new meta. Cycle continues,